Hey, this plays into a question. I was looking for it just now because Paul helps me put this together, but he gave me a question about from a little girl, and I can't find it now. But she wants to know if I could find it. But I remember it anyway. If there's fairies in heaven, and I'm thinking, because it's interesting you mentioned the dragonfly, because a fairy is like this little thing that flies, except it has kind of a human face, and of course a fairy is really a magical, it's a creation. But is there something that's like a fairy with a face in heaven that flies around and gives messages?
You would be surprised, Steve, how many things are in fantasies that actually are things that are in heaven.
Really?
And I've always told people the seraphs. If you write the word fairies with S, when you say that, that's actually seraph backwards.
Really?
It is. It is. Fairies, seraph is how they say it. And I have to say, a seraph, there's different sizes of a seraph, is actually mentioned in the Bible. They have a beautiful voice. They're on fire for God. I've seen some in the throne room of God. They live in the glory cloud over his throne, and they'll dip down and just worship him. They're very beautiful beings. But they have smaller ones that are out there in the gardens of heaven. I've seen that's probably what they would be calling a little fairy. I've seen some about this big. They're very beautiful little beings, just like the ones that are not small. They're not babies. That's just their normal size. They have different colored wings. They do fly. They go from flower to flower. They sing with the flowers. They'll sit on your hand and talk and sing to you in heaven. And so the only thing I haven't really seen is I haven't seen mermaids. I haven't hung out by the Crystal Sea very often, so I can't say that there actually are part fish, part person. There are part horse, part person, what we would call that anyway. That's not what they are. It's a creature that God made. So a lot of these fantasies that people think about, not wicked things, but beautiful things, are actually ideas from heaven, and people put them and incorporate them into movies. Into cartoons. I've seen many things that are in there. Maybe one day we'll just do a special on, what have I seen in the movies, or in maybe even illustrated movies. Is that what they call them? Animated movies. Yeah.
So wow, that's really interesting, because I was looking for that question on fairies, and then you mentioned dragonflies coming, and then you said they get their messages. I think this is not a coincidence that she's saying this right when I'm asking her about little flying creatures. I just don't think that was a coincidence. I think God said
no, they do have them. They don't call them fairies. They don't call them fairies, but they do have them, and they even have beautiful little children that are actually part of God's children. They're not humans that died and went to heaven. They actually were made to look like little children. They become the friends of children when they move to heaven. Even little babies have friends. And some of those are the ones that are made by God, created by God, to be friends when children pass to heaven.
It just gets more and more fascinating.
It does.